Hello, today we're going to focus on finding the inverse of a relation. Eventually we'll be able to do this from equations, but for today we're just kind of getting the concept of an inverse down. The inverse of a relation is just the relation that is the complete opposite of the one you've started with. We'll be doing this finding an inverse if you're given the table of a relation, a list of ordered pairs for the relation, or a graph. On your assignment, you won't have to be deal with any graphs, but I just want you to know the concept because it's linked to what we'll do with equations in the future. So let's start if we have a table. So here I have an XY input-output table. You've probably seen this before with graphing. Definitely probably saw it in Algebra 2A. To find the inverse from that table, I just switch the X and Y values. So I'm going to start with this first point. Remember, each row is a point or ordered pair. I have 1, 3. If I switch that, X becomes 3, Y becomes 1. And that is the first step of finding my inverse. Now I'm going to do that for every single point in the table. 2, 0 becomes 0, 2. 3, negative 3 becomes negative 3, 3. 4, negative 6 becomes negative 6, 4. And 5, negative 9 becomes negative 9, 5. So what used to be our X values are now our Y values, and what used to be our Y values are now our X values. If you're given a list of ordered pairs, it works pretty much the same way. I could write this list of ordered pairs as a table. I could have written that table as a list of ordered pairs. We're still doing the same thing. We're switching the X and Y value for each ordered pair. When we're given a set of ordered pairs, we always begin them and end them with these curly brackets. If you go to draw these on your own and they don't look great, that's okay. Sometimes mine don't either. And then once we deal with each ordered pair, we're going to do what we did before, switch the X and the Y. So 0, 3 will become 3, 0 when I invert it. Remember to have parentheses around each ordered pair and a comma in between X and Y. Also commas between each point to make reading things easier. It's a lot of punctuation. Next up, 1, 4 becomes 4, 1. Negative 1, 2 becomes 2, negative 1. And negative 2, 1 becomes 1, negative 2. I start off with 1, 2, 3, 4 points in my original. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ordered pairs in my inverse as well. And then just finish it off with a curly bracket. With a graph, it works the same way. You can actually think of each of these as being an ordered pair that might make your life easier. I'm still going to switch the X value and Y value, but since I start with a graph, my answer is going to be a graph too. Again, this won't be on your homework, but I think it's important for you to have at least seen it. This first point right here that I'm pointing at, the coordinates of that point are negative 7, 0, because X is negative 7, Y is 0. If I invert that, it's going to become 0, negative 7. So I'm going to graph 0, negative 7, which means X is 0, Y is negative 7. That's going to be on the Y-axis here. And I'm going to do that for all of the points I see here. It doesn't really matter what order you go in as long as you get every point. This point right here is negative 4, 3. So when I invert that, it becomes 3, negative 4. X is 3, Y is negative 4, goes here. This point is negative 3, negative 1. Inverting that becomes negative 1, negative 3. So X is negative 1, Y is negative 3, goes right here. This point is negative 1, 2. Inverting that, it becomes 2, negative 1. This point is 0, 5. Its inverse is 5, 0. X is 5, Y is 0. Be right here. This point is 2, negative 4. So its inverse is negative 4, 2. X is negative 4, Y is 2. That goes right here. And then the last but not least, this point right here is 3, 1. Inverting that, it becomes 1, 3. So X is 1, Y is 3. That would go right here. That is it for today for inverses. So again, the key thing with inverses is in order to get that opposite relation, we are going to switch X and Y. For your homework, you'll just focus on the tables and the ordered pairs like we did at the beginning. The graphs, I wanted you to see that because it relates to how we'll deal with equations in the future. Have a fantastic day.